Jockeys are given their instructions to go into the mounting yard, and it was a very busy scene indeed as the horses paraded around the yard prior to mounting up to go onto the track for the parade. Number 20 there was Choctaw. And so the boys are given their orders to mount for the Melbourne Cup. There we see Mac in the foreground, Regal Wench on the left. There's Regal Wench again as the horses commence the parade. And at the head of the parade was Baystone. He was followed by Ark Royal, Sir Blink, Yeaman, MacDougall, Chicola, Mac, Royal Jester, Valerius, Belfast, Grand Gary, Foxmara, White Hills, Milano, Amanella, Trelios, O'Toole, Regal Wench, Moonbridge, Travel Boy. And they're off with Nethergold near the inside first to move from Yeaman, Baystone, Contador on the outside going fast. Chicola got away well, and Mac is taking up a handy position next, and he's followed further out by Royal Jester, who began well. And just in behind him was Belfast coming down the centre. Travel Boy showing a lot of speed, but he's still wide out on the track, and Trelios is following him. Coming in behind him then was Secret Way, and Regal Wench is on the extreme outside of the field, and already Amanella's dropped back to nearer the rear of the field with Belfast last. As they race to the 2 furlongs post the first time, it's Nethergold, the pacemaker, showing the way from Coriolis on the outside. Then follows Trelios going up into third position. Regal Wench behind him. Contador on the rails with Royal Jester. And just in behind them came Milano, Summer Honeymoon, and Mac Grand Gary parked on the fence. Secret Way, MacDougall next, followed by O'Toole, Sir Akron, White Hills, and Choctaw. Next was Valerius, Sir Blink well back in the field with Baystone, Grand Scott. Then came Summer Honeymoon, Foxmara, Moonbridge, and Yeaman on the inside, followed by Ark Royal. And last two was Belfast and Damanella. As they take the turn out of the straight past the 1 3 and Trelios has taken over. Trelios the leader as they turn out of the straight now with about 1 1/4 to go. From Travel Boy moving up into second position. Nethergold on the rails. There goes Milano and Summer Honeymoon around them at a great rate on the outside. Followed by Royal Jester, and they were followed by Secret Way on the outside of Grand Gary, Chicola. Then came Valerius, White Hills, and O'Toole, Sir Akron, MacDougall, and Mac was next. Baystone, Grand Scott, Sir Blink on the outside of him. Yeaman on the fence, followed by Foxmara, Ark Royal, and Moonbridge. Then follows Amanella, and Belfast was last. With half the business over, there's a mile to go in the Melbourne Cup, and Trelios has been headed by Summer Honeymoon on the outside. Travel Boy, Royal Jester, handy, Coriolis on the inside rail. Contador and Grand Gary going up on the outside. Nethergold was next with White Hills just in behind him. About a length further away to MacDougall, followed then by O'Toole and Grand Scott on the outside of him. A length and a half further away then on the outside was Foxmara moving up on the outside of Baystone. Chicola was just in behind them, and they were followed by Ark Royal on the rails, and Belfast was still last. As they raced over now past the 6 furlongs post, and here we see Summer Honeymoon on the outside has just got ahead in front of Trelios. They're closely followed then by Regal Wench moving up nicely with Valerius, and Royal Jester's there. Grand Gary on the fence with Contador on the outside of him. There goes Mac making a run around the outside, and he's followed then about a length and a half further away by White Hills and Sir Akron, Chicola. Then about a length and a half farther away was O'Toole on the outside of Nethergold, and Foxmara going around them on the outside. They were followed by Yeaman on the fence, and further back on the inside of him was Grand Scott, and back near the rear of the field now is Summer Honeymoon dropping out of it with Amanella. On the home turn now with 3 furlongs to go in the Cup race, and a great race for the lead seats. Travel Boy going up on the outside to challenge with Sir Akron and Trelios on the rails. A great race. Royal Jester just in behind them. Settling for the run now with 2 furlongs. Trelios has dashed to the front. From Travel Boy going out after him, Sir Akron on the outside, Royal Jester, Choctaw, then follows Valerius over on the outside of them, and Grand Gary is making a great run. As they race in now towards the furlong post, the whips are out. Trelios just the leader from Travel Boy, and there goes MacDougall up on the outside to challenge, and MacDougall hits the front with about 50 or 60 yards to go. MacDougall, Nethergold coming into the picture, White Hills and Trelios, but MacDougall wins the Cup from Nethergold and White Hills. Next was Grand Gary, Trelios, and Sir Blink, followed by Travel Boy and Yeaman. Next was Grand Scott, Moonbridge. Here we see the horses returning to scale after the running of the Cup. Clerk of the course, Jim McGaffin, leading in the winner, MacDougall, with South Australian jockey Pat Blennon in the saddle. It was Pat Blennon's second Melbourne Cup victory. He was previously successful on Comic Court. And here we see the owner, Mr. R.N. Brown, leading MacDougall back into the winner's stall. There he is, MacDougall. Very proud owner, holding him, and here Pat Glennon unsaddles to go to scale to weigh in. MacDougall by Marco Polo II. His Excellency, the Governor-General of Australia, Sir William Slim, presented the trophy to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown holds the cup and the champion horse. And now we see the finish of the cup in slow motion. As they race down with about a furlong to go, it's Trelios in front of Truffle Boy on the outside of him, and there goes MacDougall up with his fine run to take the lead. There we see MacDougall striding out and leaving the opposition to go on and score by 3 lengths in the cup race from Nethergold along the inside rail, who finished reasonably well, and White Hills on the outside. That's the order as they go to the post, with MacDougall striding away from them to take the big money.
Well, quite rightly so. Pat Glennon is a very happy man. And now here's Ray McDonald talking to the winning trainer, Dick Roden.
Well, Dick, congratulations on training a Melbourne Cup winner. You've now joined that very select band of trainers, having
Thanks very much, Ray.
a Melbourne Cup winner under your belt.
Yeah.
Well, now, before the race, what did you think of your chances in the Cup?
Well, look, I gave this horse an excellent chance, and I never get carried away in racing because I know so many things can happen, but this horse was very fit, and I knew he was a tested 2-miler, and I knew that he'd be very hard to beat.
Did you have any doubts at all during the running of the gruelling 2-mile event?
No, I watched every step he took from the time he left the boxes, and Pat Glennon has to be commended on the way he handled the horse. He rode a beautiful race. He got him over onto the fence, and he kept him there, and he waited and waited, and we had planned like for the horse to have about a furlong and a half run at the finish. And when I saw him loom up there with about a furlong and a half, I knew that he'd sustain his run right to the line.
How long have you had him, Dick?
I've had him for over 2 years now.
And when did you feel that you had a Melbourne Cup winner in the stable?
Well, after he won the Brisbane Cup, I knew that he'd make a vast improvement on that. And when I saw the weights and saw that he wasn't harshly weighted, I was confident then. But when he won the Metropolitan, he was given the penalty. I did have a bit of a doubt, but the horse has worked so well that he sort of actually got me in to think that he had an excellent chance of winning today.
Dick, anything special about his preparation for the big race?
No, well, he's a delicate sort of a horse, or he has been. He's become more robust of late, but I've never hustled him. I've always spaced his runs well, and we've got the fruits of that now.
And what did you consider the greatest danger before the barrier went up?
Well, the horse I thought would be the hardest to beat was Grand Gary, actually, because we'd only beaten him a nose in the Brisbane Cup, and here he beat us a neck the other day in the Hotham. Although I knew my horse was underdone there in the Hotham, and I knew that he'd improved vastly, and I knew that the other horse couldn't improve on what he did on Saturday. So I thought that he is a dyed-in-the-wool stayer too, Grand Gary, and he was the horse that I was most afraid of.
Barrier, quite happy with the barrier position?
Yes, well, Glennon and I discussed it before the race, and we both thought that he'd be better off there, actually, being not a fast beginner, that he sort of might get slammed off from the other horses coming across, you know, like. And
quite so.
Yeah.
And what about the rider now? Will anything make you select Glennon for the mount?
Well, Glennon is a first-class horseman, as you know. He knows his way around the Flemington course, and that was the biggest factor, I think. And besides, he never had to carry much dead weight. See.
Well, this film, in addition to being shown in Melbourne, is going immediately to Brisbane and Sydney. You came from Brisbane to Sydney, didn't you, Dick?
Yes, I came from Brisbane.
Well, I'm sure that all your friends and followers in those 2 states will be very, very happy and proud that you have brought in the winner.
Good, thank you very much, Ryan.
Thanks again, Dick.